In this short little video, I'm just going to take you through some of the background work that we did for the press releases that we issued on the Minister's Arrive Alive statistics, because these are really very tiresome stuff. Arrive Alive has a mission of reducing the death toll by 5% year on year, something that has been failing at quite miserably, by the way. When he gave a speech this year to announce all the figures, the minister said, during my tenure as minister from 2004 to 2008, the trend of fatalities for December only has been as follows. And then he goes and gives the figures: 1,237 in 2004, up to 1,535 by 2007. And by 2008, he says it's 1,130, which is a 26% decrease. As can be seen, this is the first real drop in the number of fatalities. I am sure that the trajectory we've taken to improving safety on our roads is the correct one. The second I heard this, I thought, this is just bull, because every single year we get told that the figures are down. I went and tried to research on their website, and strangely enough, although I guess I might say it was never there, there are no press releases, there's no speeches, nothing going further back than about 2006. So 2007 in the large part, so you can't really check 2004, 2005. But I did find some very interesting things, and I was right that he has announced decreases before, though this year he said it's the first time he's announcing a decrease, and things have finally changed. I'm not going to go through each one of the quotes, but for example, 17th January 2007, he said, road fatalities have reduced by 81 from 1,726 to 1,645. In short, we've achieved a reduction of 4.67% in fatalities. That was over the December 2006 period. Now he claims there was a 0.9% increase. Then he took credit for a 4.67% decrease. And basically I can say exactly the same for the December 2007 period. We have him on speech in January 2008 where he says, wow, we've had a decrease. But this year he says, no, it's the first year we've had a decrease. In fact, in 2007 it went up 4%. This year suddenly we have a miraculous 26% decrease. The other thing is that they play a shifting game. That one year they compare, he says these are the figures for December only, but they don't give you statistics for December only, because in the very next breath they say these are the figures for the 1st of December to the 10th or 11th of January. They've also changed the statistics from a previous formula, and this has been highlighted by the AA and the media, whereby they said per 100,000 kilometers that people drive, this is how many die. Now it's per 10,000 of our population, irrespective of whether they drive, have ever been in a car, or don't even live nearby a road, which makes our figures look better, although still 14 times that of America. The best example I got was the year 2005. He said he says now that 1,454 people died in December at that particular time, and now he's come out with completely different figures. I'm just trying to read through my reports here, because we obviously have to supply it all to the media, and you have to answer 1,001 questions, and when you finally answer 1,001 questions, the lady at City Press will get back to you and say, her editor says, sorry, everybody else has covered this topic already, and so her article's been canned. That's after that to dictate and write a 6-page letter to her, filling out things. Now, the one thing that's obvious from these figures is, firstly, they're getting them from the police. How reliable the police figures are, who knows? But one thing is for certain, on the 15th of January, they cannot possibly have reliable figures up to the 11th of January. If for no other reason than some people take 2-3 weeks or longer to die after an accident. The figures for 2008, with the figures for 2007 that he released in 2007 or 2008, went up approximately 29% by March of that year compared to what he released in January. So that's just one gauge for the period. So I think that to a large extent it's a statistical game, and it's hard to compare the things, but to me it appears what happens is have a press release as quick as possible, close to the date, announce the death statistics that you have now, and don't mention a word to the media about, hey, there's going to be a lot more deaths and other figures will still flow through, and last year it went up 29% from now. Take the credit today, and then round about March or April, issue your annual report and bump up the figure. I'd like to see in December this year, if the minister is saying we've got to beat 1,130. Why that figure? Well, because that's what he's just taken credit for this particular year. I'm sure by the time he's got to compare something to in December, the figure is going to be bigger. You know, an article, if I just read from this, an article in the Star newspaper by Louise Flanagan on 6 January 2009 indicated the 2008 figures on her research have gone up 28% from the time of the initial press release to the final figure, and it will be most interesting to see if what the minister has heralded as, quote, I declare the statistics for this phase or the campaign. I am proud to announce that our objective was achieved and succeeded by 26.12%. It's certainly premature to be releasing these figures on the 15th of August, and we'll probably follow up with further press releases in due course on this particular issue as well, because it goes to a number of things. Number one, a lot of these changes to the road accident fund have been made on the basis of this ever-increasing death toll. The minister's saying it's going down. Number two, it puts in question the reliability of their figures. Every single year they announce a decrease, and yet the minister can make a speech that every single year he's had an increase, except for this wonderful year at the end of a 5-year, 10-year, and here, I mean, that's how it sounds anyway. Here we go, here are the great figures.